Thought Bubble Audio.
Look, up in the sky.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to Beer with Geeks with Tim and Frank.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
I am Iron Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A couple of guys with a couple of beers and a whole lot of pop culture nostalgia.
Make it so, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Named the dog Indiana.
Life finds a way.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now sit back and crack open a cold one, because it's time for Beer with Geeks.
It comes in paints.
Shaken, not stirred.
Great Scott!
I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, where two geeks geek out with beer. I'm Tim, and with me, as always, is my man who loves to make lists of things. It's Frank. How are you today?
Hey, I'm doing great, buddy. How are you?
I am doing well. I have a list here in front of me. You probably have a list somewhere, whether in your brain or on paper. And lists are good,
true.
Frank. When I was a kid, there was a Sesame Street book that we used to read where Bert had to make a list to remember things, but he also tied a little string around his pinky in case he forgot something. And though it goes through the whole book, and then he couldn't remember what he tied the string around his finger for in the first place. I have never forgotten that. Even though we didn't read it that much, I've always thought to myself, that's stupid, because what if you forget what you tied the string around for?
See, there you go.
Yeah, so I've never done that. Yeah, so Sesame Street taught me so well. So well.
And you remembered it without a string around your finger, which is really maybe the most impressive part of all.
Oh, nice. That was a nice circular joke.
Thank you.
Frank, what are you drinking today?
I'm drinking our old mainstay. I think this might actually, it's late in the year. I think this might be my first one of the year, and it is a Sam Adams Porch Rocker.
That's nice. I almost grabbed a Porch Rocker. I wish that I had now, because we would have been Porch Rocker buddies. We talked about this before, but this is a good batch this year.
This is a good batch.
It's a really good batch.
It's like a refreshing lemonade.
I'm pulling a Frank. I'm drinking a Stout.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's thundery, lightning-ish,
sure,
crummy weather here.
It's spooky out.
It's spooky. So I'm going with a Boulevard Brewing Company Magic Drip, which is a limited release, and this is my last one that is to be drunk. Actually, I've had this a few times on the show before, but this is the last time that I will be having it for some time, because this is my last one. So this is a barrel-aged wheated imperial stout with Colombian coffee mixed in, because why not get a little coffee with your beer?
Heck yeah.
All at the same time. It's very good. Though truthfully, it's a little warm in my office, so maybe it wasn't the best choice I've ever made, but it was a choice, and I'm sticking to it because I already opened it.
Good for you.
That's how we do things.
Good for you.
We stick to our choices regardless of whether they were good or not.
We stubbornly commit, and we never let go.
Exactly. Speaking of stubbornly committing, I've decided that there are things that my child, B, as you know, right?
Yes,
B. I've committed.
Wait, wasn't yours Flo?
Was
mine Flo?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Today, mine will be B and yours will be Flo. Maybe
okay,
next time
today
it'll switch. I have no idea. And so I have committed to my child, as my mom used to say, you need to be exposed. That was her thing. You need to be exposed. And so I think my child needs to be exposed to things from my childhood. And so one day when she watches them, and I'll say, this was really important to Daddy, and she'll go, that was boring. That was stupid. That, as is the tradition of all children and their parents.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Although, truthfully, we didn't do that much with my parents. I actually liked most of what they showed me. So maybe that trend will continue.
Same here. But there were things, right? Like there's always stuff you're like, that was boring. I don't get it, or whatever. There's always that. There's always that. But like me too. Like, I mean, I'll in particular, my music taste is just very influenced by my dad.
For sure. Right. Yeah. Like actually, so B's music taste is really influenced by her mom. right? You know, when she's like eating lunch the other day, and I said, "What do you want to listen to some music? What do you want to listen to?" She's like, "Judy Collins." I was like, mind you, my 1-year-old, like, right, wants to listen to Judy Collins. So yeah. So I said, okay, that I'm fine with that. Great. It beats your general request for Abby Dabby, which is like your catch-all. Like, what do you feel like? Abby Dabby. Like, it's basically her F word. You know, like it's a catch-all word. You can use it for anything that you want. Sure. Abby Dabby.
It fits anywhere.
Exactly. Or like I said, it's like 40 for the Bible. Like, how long were they there? 40 something.
Yeah, 40 days, 40 years.
Yeah,
40,
it's 40. Yeah, it's whatever. So anyway, so you and I have assembled a list of movies and TV shows from our youth, from our childhoods that we feel that we should introduce to B and Flo at some point. Pretty vague. We did not say exactly what age we would introduce them. No. I mean, I'm thinking like childhood stuff, you know, like kid stuff, but you know, that's for sure. Yeah.
That's a lot of ground to play around with.
Absolutely. Why don't you take us away?
Sure. So as you know, Tim, I have a Plex server that I
already know where you're going with this. Yes.
and for quickly, Plex is just an app that lets you play files, you know, video files and stuff from your computer, but play them on your TV. And you can build a little library, kind of like an iTunes library, and you can share it with your friends and that kind of thing. And so my Plex server has a lot of things on it, lots of movies and TV, and I started a section for Flo, a kids section, and I've got a bunch of things on here that I'm excited to show her someday when it's appropriate for her, when she's old enough to appreciate. And one thing, and this is something I think Tim will appreciate too, is Wishbone.
Yes.
I've got all 50 episodes of Wishbone just sitting here waiting for her to be old enough to enjoy them.
That's awesome. Yeah, Wishbone is on my list as well. I'm some things like because Flo is a little younger than B. There are some things that I kind of have introduced already that are like on my list, but like they're not mainstays yet. They're just kind of like floated in her periphery, because Wishbone is a little it's for an older audience.
Definitely,
you know, it's not meant for 1 and 2-year-olds. So, but we've definitely watched the opening song. At least, yeah. And so Wishbone is definitely a must. So I should try again. I actually haven't tried Wishbone in some time, and she she's pretty savvy, so she will get a good chunk of what's happening. So so I should try again, actually.
Yeah, maybe if you feel like she's ready for it, do it.
Yeah, that one's good. Keeping along the PBS line of stuff, Arthur.
Is there anything else?
No, of course not. No. Arthur is on my list of things to watch. I actually introduced Arthur the other day.
Nice.
I thought I'd try it because we took, you know this, but like I took a B to the library for the first time recently, and she just thought it was the greatest thing in the entire world, and she like walked around with the library card, going up to people at the library going, books books like yeah, that's how you get books, right? And so my wife said, oh, like the library song from Arthur, and I was like, right, of course. So we watched that, and I said, do you like that? She's like, yeah, more. And I was like, oh, okay. So we ended up watching half an episode of Arthur.
Nice.
But of course, like the random episode that I chose on the PBS Kids app was like with a character I didn't know, and nobody that I knew was in it except for DW and Arthur for maybe a minute of the whole thing combined.
Oh, interesting.
It was some kid, and the episode was good. It was like a kid who has a stuffed toy dinosaur, which is why I chose it, because B loves dinosaurs, and so I chose it for that. And then he like loses it, like it like talks to him and whatever else, like an imaginary friend, and then he loses it, but he learns how to be confident, without it, and everything. So it was a good episode. It was just like, of course, like I picked one that I don't care at all, myself, but she liked it, so that was something. So
good.
Yeah, Arthur's definitely on mine. What about you?
Yeah, Arthur's on my Plex server as well. So that's another.
Oh, good.
Another one.
You can go back and,
Yeah,
good stuff. Yeah, find the good ones.
Oh yeah, it's 135 episodes of Arthur.
That's wild. It's wild.
Yeah,
yeah.
You should. I think you have my.
I do. Yeah. Actually,
on my
fun fact about Arthur: someone I went to college with produced Arthur.
That's cool.
Yeah, not cool.
That's super cool.
Mm-hmm. No,
wow.
Yep.
That's neat.
Yeah. All right. From your list.
Yeah. So next on my list, just today, as a matter of fact, I made my first foray into introducing her to Mr. Rogers.
Oh, how did that go?
She's barely a year old, just for context. But she was interested, but not fully engaged.
Mm-hmm.
But she was interested. It was a music. He was hanging out with a bunch of people who were playing brass instruments.
Sure.
And she is fascinated by anything musical. So she was very interested in that. But she's I'm going to try again in a couple of months. We're going to see. She's a little too young for it, but she was like vaguely interested, but not sucked in.
Okay, that makes sense.
As you would expect from a 1-year-old.
Sure. If I can offer a suggestion.
Yeah, please.
The
Yo-Yo Ma.
The Yo-Yo Ma episode is great. Yeah, but there are 2 Fred Rogers books. One of them is just like it goes through. They're like little like I want to say, and they're like little cartoonish like, "Won't you be my neighbor?" And "It's you I like." And he just like goes to the town, and it's just the lyrics to the songs, whatever else. But
I love it.
Yeah, they're really really cute. But we were reading those for a while, and then we showed her real Mr. Rogers. So like Mr. Rogers is on my list because we're already watching it. But that like, so then like she saw him and was like, Rogers, Mr. Rogers. And so that was enough of like the leap forward. So you can try that. I find that is very helpful because that's how I got B to watch bits of Star Wars, because we have, I think I've talked about this on the show, where we have Star Wars kids books like Luke training with Yoda and Dagobah. It's called A Jedi You Will Be. And so I said, "You want to see Luke and Yoda for real?" And she says, "Yeah." So I showed them like the Luke and Yoda on Dagobah bits, without skipping like when Luke cuts off Darth Vader's head in his,
of course, sure,
like stuff like that. And so like that, like she just like bridged the connection herself. Gotcha. Like, oh, like these are the same things. And so that gives her kind of like ownership over the material.
That's a very clever way to do it. I love that.
Yeah, thank you. I try.
Much like the Superman book that you've recommended before, and that I bought for my kid too.
Yeah, Superman of Smallville. It's great. Same thing. So now she watches. Oh, I got to tell you this. So this is not interesting. Like it necessarily introduce it, but like we watch bits of Superman 78. Like,
yes.
Or because like she likes Superman of Smallville, and honestly, the original Christopher Reeve movie is like the cleanest, friendliest version, that I can give her. Like, you just like basically skip like Lex shooting guns at him, and
sure,
the whole bit where Lois dies. And he reverses, but most of it is like fine, like unless you like count like the destruction of Krypton and whatever else. And so so I've shown her like lots of that. But then the other day we were going through stuff in the basement, and she saw in a box my autograph I got like when I was in high school from Margot Kidder. And it's Margot and Chris Reeve in costume, like in the desert, like after he saves her from the earthquake, just them talking. It's the production still. And now it's in her playroom because she was like, "This is mine now." And so, like, even today we were playing upstairs, and I said, "You want to go have dinner?" She says, "Yeah." Like, "Daddy, take Superman picture." So, like, I had set it up on the counter with like her T-Rex and her Superman picture. Like, yeah, Lois gave that, you know, like, yes, Lois gave that to me. I met Lois and she gave this to me for $70, like, or whatever. Like, yeah. And so, I said to my wife, it looks like she's like got like a little like anniversary dinner, like she's like a widower, like she's like her black and white photo and like her like eating dinner with like, I miss him so much, my friend Superman. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, so funny.
It's too funny.
She's funny.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I guess Superman 78 from my childhood has already been introduced.
Great.
And so yeah, I mean, even like Lois falling off the building is like apart from like I just skip most of the screams.
Okay, yeah.
Skip over some of that. Now that she's almost 2, so like I'll let her watch her fall because Superman catches her. So now,
right,
like,
of course,
it's something like she understands she can fall off of something now. So like she understands almost like the consequence. She might not understand that like Lois will die if like it falls, like, but she doesn't understand that concept yet. So it's like in this weird safe space. So So like Jurassic Park is not on my list, but like we watch a lot of the safe spots of Jurassic Park because she loves dinosaurs. So like first 40 minutes and then some Brachiosaurus scenes.
Cool.
Recently she asked to watch the T-Rex. So like I know I know the movie so well. I know exactly where to fast forward and cut the T-Rex attacking anybody. And so it's really just the T-Rex walking and roaring. And so like the other day, so like I tried it and I watched her and her eyes are like really wide, her mouth's open, and I said, B, is this scary? And she goes, yeah. So do you want me to turn it off? No. So I said, okay. And so I did all, like, I went through all of that and it was just the roaring without any attacking. But even like the T-Rex chasing Ian Malcolm with the flare, she just thinks they're playing tag. Like the dog chases her in the yard or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
She has no concept of like he's going to get eaten or whatever. She doesn't get any of that. So like the T-Rex chasing the car, she's just like, they're having fun. Like this is what they're saying. Yeah, whatever, man, whatever. You're not having nightmares. So, and like she still picks up her T-Rex toy and goes, "Oh, so cute." So like it's clearly not affecting her.
Great.
Which is great. So, like, just, I guess, know your kid and what they can, because I don't want to desensitize her. But she woke up the other day and was going, roar, and I was like, what are you doing? She said, T-Rex roar. And I was like, okay. You got it, baby. No problem. Yeah, wild. Anyway, what is on your list?
Quick question. I'm just thinking about Mr. Rogers. Do you ever do Daniel Tiger with her?
So I tried last summer. I think I tried Daniel Tiger when she was just about a year old, and she, or like just like at the year mark, and she didn't really take to it. She does like the Land of Make Believe though, but I haven't gone back to do Daniel Tiger again. And so I've watched it myself. It's okay. There's really nothing wrong with it or anything like that.
Oh, sure. No,
like, yeah. Just like
I just meant, does she care for it?
No, I do know other children that do, like in my own life, and so, but no, she much prefers Sesame Street. Like if she had to choose, even the animated Sesame Street ones, like like Elmo Meets Tango or his dog or whatever, she much prefers that.
Yeah,
Daniel Tiger.
Yeah, flows into. I mean, right now it's basically just Miss Rachel and Sesame Street.
Sure.
If there's any TV, and we try to, obviously, I should caveat all this by being like, we both really limit TV at this age, at the current age that both of our kids are at. Yeah, 1 hour. And for mine, it's even less. It's just more of like, okay, are you like, have we tried everything else? Okay, here's some Miss Rachel just to regulate you for a few minutes, and then let's.
Oh sure. Oh, you use it
go
as
back to doing something.
We used it as like a, because I mean she's almost 2, so like so this is, you get your hour. What do you want to watch? Like her thing right now is watching Prehistoric Planet on Apple TV, that. But she just wants Carnotaurus. I said, what do you want to watch? Carnotaurus, and I say, okie dokie.
Okay.
And so we watched that 8 minutes, and I said, what do you want to watch? Jurassic Park. Okay, so you're going to go from David Attenborough to Richard Attenborough.
Both
about dinosaurs, and you have no idea about this connection. None whatsoever.
And she goes, yes.
Yes, right. Mm-hmm. So funny. All
right, my next one.
Yeah.
So the reason I asked about Daniel Tiger is because my next pick is not Thomas the Tank Engine, Shining Time Station.
Shining Time Station, yeah. The superior one.
Not Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yep.
To be clear.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Nope.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I just want to be clear about what we're talking about. We're talking about the OG Shining Time Station. We're talking about the only canonical season, which is season 1, where Mr. Conductor is played by Ringo Starr and not George Carlin.
Oh, so I love the George Carlin years, though. That's what I watched when I was a kid.
It's fine. I still watched it.
But B would like the Ringo one because she likes Ringo. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, nobody knows, no kid knows who George Carlin is. You know, like, I always thought he was sort of a strange choice. Yeah, I didn't know he was. But, like, there's a decent chance that your kid has seen Yellow Submarine and knows Ringo.
Yeah, mine definitely has. You know, she asked.
Oh, yours, I know.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, Yellow Submarine's a kids movie. It's out there in the ether.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Do you have that? Where can I find that? Do you know?
Yellow Submarine?
Yeah, no. Shining Time Station.
Shining Time Station?
Yeah.
My Plex server.
Nice, nice, dude. Nice.
So yeah, no, I kid about. It's not like I'm not going to show her anything else, but the Ringo season is the the elite, in this household. So yeah, no, Shining Time Station. It is the original, Thomas the Tank Engine. It was the first version of it in America. I think it was in the UK first, but you know, it's the story. They tell Thomas the Tank Engine stories, and in between them, you have vignettes about the people in a train station,
mm-hmm.
and it's got Didi Khan from Grease in it, and she's like one of the main characters, and it's a delight. And Ringo plays the tiny conductor man who lives inside the jukebox.
That's awesome. Yep.
When you say it out loud, it really sounds like he never left the 60s. But anyway,
no, he's still living in his octopus garden. Like
that's true.
Yeah.
God bless him. 83 years old.
Yep. Going along those lines, going back to something that's a little bit older, Reading Rainbow, I would like to give a try.
Hard yes.
Yeah.
That just had its 40th anniversary.
I know. That's great.
And I'm like, LeVar's been on TV for 40 years. Holy,
I know what it was wild to me. Is like I didn't even know Reading Rainbow was older than me. Like that's
true. I didn't think it was that much older than me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely Reading Rainbow for try. We've tried the theme song, but that's about it. Sometimes we just go with here's this song, and then if she watches it, she goes, "Oh, I know that song," and then it kind of wraps her in another way to do it.
Oh, Reading Rainbow is a good one. I don't have. I need to see where can we? Have you? Are there full episodes on YouTube?
I haven't looked actually, so I'm sure. I'm sure they're out there. So
I'm sure they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most things are.
Mm-hmm. Reading Rainbow for sure. This is a strange one that I don't even know if you know about. This was something from the 70s. This is Free to Be You and Me. Have you ever heard, Free to Be? I used to watch this a lot when I
didn't experience it as a kid, but I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it a ton when I was a kid. For those who don't know, it was an Emmy-winning program for kids, a one-night special, and it was just a bunch of different artists and music and animation, and it was just teaching kids about different emotions and different stories, and Michael Jackson was in it, but Jackson 5 Michael Jackson, and Mel Brooks plays a baby in it. He's puppeteering a baby, and
nice.
It's yeah, and some of it's quite older, the babies have a conversation about how do you know if you're a boy or a girl. The girl asks Mel Brooks, she's like, why do you think you're a girl? He's like, well, because of what I want to be. What do you want to be? A cocktail waitress. And so it's really, some of that's really dated and arguably not good humor anymore, but there's some really great stuff in it beside that. So I would like to try Free to Be You and Me one day.
That's interesting. Yeah, I never watched it as a kid. But that actually sounds like something that I'm going to want to check out for her.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you have another one?
Yes, I've got tons more. By the way, it seems like this is a good chunk of Reading Rainbow on YouTube and on the Internet Archive.
Nice. Oh, Internet Archive. Bless you.
God bless him.
Mm-hmm.
God bless him. I loved Shari Lewis as a kid.
Yes.
And I have every intention of sharing Lamb Chop's play along.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I was a kid, Lamb Chop was superior to Mr. Rogers to me.
When I was like very little, yes, same.
Yeah.
I was very big fan of Lamb Chop.
Yeah, they were back to back.
That sounds right.
When I was a kid, and so like they just like to me they're just like eternally linked. Like you watch Lamb Chop, then you watch Mr. Rogers, and that was just kind of always what happened. But yeah, man, I loved Lamb Chop. That's a good one. I haven't thought about Lamb Chop. Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. I saw Shari Lewis live with Lamb Chop once when I was very little.
That's cool.
It was cool. It was very cool.
That seems to unearth a memory that I might have had.
Yeah, you might have done it too.
No, I feel like I would.
I mean, she used to tour. Like it's very possible you would have seen her in Boston or something.
I feel like I would really remember that. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'll ask somebody at home. But that's cool. That's very cool. I'm just living vicariously. My brain is trying to live vicariously through your experience.
There's so many things, so many little tricks and like just funny jokes. And Pete and Repeat were brothers. Pete and Repeat went out in a boat. Who was left?
Pete and Repeat were brothers. Pete and
Repeat went out in a boat. Pete fell out. Who was left?
Repeat. No.
Pete and Repeat were brothers. Pete and Repeat went out in a boat. Pete fell out. Who was left?
Pete. No. Oh my gosh. Say it again.
Pete and Repeat were brothers.
Yep.
Pete and Repeat went out in the boat.
Yeah.
Pete fell out. Who was left?
I should get this, but I can't. I'm too tired.
You got it right. The answer is Repeat.
Okay.
And then I repeat it because you said repeat.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I feel better for at least getting the answer correct, but not getting the joke. So I feel better about that. Oh man, I would have.
Anyway, I remember that from
that's awesome.
From Lamb Chop. I remember all kinds of little funny jokes like that from Lamb Chop. Anyway, I that's fun stuff that I look forward to sharing with, and crafts and stuff. I remember too. I don't know why, but I do.
That's good. This one came out before I was born, but I used to watch it a lot. Is Dinosaur with Fred Savage? Do you remember this?
I think I was it a movie or a series?
It was a movie. It was so it was like kind of a movie. So like it wasn't like a special that was kind of a conglomeration vignette of a bunch of different stuff, but it was like half of it was Fred Savage like having to finish a school report, and he decides to do it on dinosaurs, and so he learns a lot about dinosaurs, and then halfway through, like that stops. And it cuts to like a bunch of claymation stuff about dinosaurs, which was a different special that they edited together with the Fred Savage one. But like, I mean, I didn't know that as a kid. I knew that something was different, like because like Fred Savage like just disappeared, and now they did this, and he like never came back and whatever. But I loved it when I was a kid.
I feel I haven't thought about this in ages, but I feel like you are unearthing I feel like I may have like borrowed that VHS from my local library a few times.
Totally. Yeah, it's just called Dinosaur. It came out in 1980. And I don't know when the Fred Savage one was attached to it. It's on the whole thing's on YouTube.
So you're telling me that the dinosaur, the claymation part was already released, like a special that existed in the world, and then they repackaged it with the Fred Savage framing device around it.
Yep.
That's fascinating.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know when they repackaged it, but there was in the middle of it, there was a song called Mesozoic Mind, which was like an 80s rock band of dinosaurs singing a song about the Mesozoic era, and it is so stupidly catchy. That I love it. Yeah, it's definitely worth your time. It's like a half an hour, so it wouldn't like kill to watch it, but it's like the claymation is like weirdly violent. Like the T-Rex like
Interesting.
takes like grabs a pterosaur out of the air and like swings him around.
I
And like
see.
the wings are flapping everywhere and there's like claymation blood coming out of the T-Rex's mouth. So like me skipping around Jurassic Park is less violent than this 80s claymation thing.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Grant petting a sick Triceratops is like not even close to this claymation.
Yeah, sure.
thing. So this one has not been introduced yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Let's see where we at. Do you want to do one more round?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm making a last minute change here because you just inspired something.
Oh.
I'm also gonna say a special, a one-time special that aired, but one that I enjoyed a lot as a kid. And I later found out that our friend Andrew had also watched later on.
Oh.
We have not talked about Disney at all.
No, it's definitely on my list. We could do a different dive on that at a different time because I've already introduced a bunch of different Disney things.
Sure.
Yeah, so
that's fair. We haven't done any Disney stuff actually yet. So one thing I would want to do is there was a special that aired in the early 90s, I imagine. It aired on the Disney Channel, and it was called Simply Mad About the Mouse.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
So it's some kind of a tribute to Mickey Mouse or anniversary of Disney or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it features a bunch of covers of classic Disney songs by then contemporary artists. So like Billy Joel sings When You Wish Upon a Star. And Harry Connick Jr. sings Bare Necessities. And LL Cool J is in there, and the Rick Ocasek, the guy from the Cars, like I think you're just what I needed.
Oh sure, yeah.
He sings Zippity Doo Dah. And it's all these artists, and they're like inserted into animated scenes like from the movies or inspired by the movies.
That sounds super fun.
It's super fun. It's on YouTube. I'll link to it in the show notes. But it was super fun. And then as in like high school or college, I was talking to our friend Andrew, and it turned out he had watched it too, and I had forgotten about it until he mentioned it, and I didn't recognize it by name. But when he said something about Billy Joel singing "When You Wish Upon a Star," I was like, "Wait, I remember this from my childhood." Yes.
Billy Joel singing "When You Wish Upon a Star" is something I've definitely heard before, but I've never seen the video that's attached to this. Because I've also
video
heard
with it.
Harry Connick Jr. singing "Bare Necessities," but I think it's like on a Disney compilation album.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
That I definitely have heard.
No, but they all appear in these videos.
That's really fun. Okay, so my last one is kind of Disney. But I mean, it's a Disney movie, but it's not in the same vein as these other animated ones. And the one that I really can't wait to introduce because it still is a solid movie is Homeward Bound.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Homeward Bound is excellent. It's just, she's just a little too young to get it because it's their voices for the animals, but the animals don't obviously move or talk.
The mouths don't
like
move
the
and
mouths
stuff.
don't move, right. And so I don't know if she's old enough to understand apart from like the animals running back and forth, but there's really nothing bad in the movie at all. It's like, obviously you're like, oh my God, is Shadow going to survive? Right. He's so old, but yeah, that's on my to watch list for sure.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have more, but they're
tons more.
Yeah. But I can wait for another round of this if that's what the people want.
That's right. Let us know. Let us know if you like this and if you'd like more. You can do that at beerwithgeeks@gmail.com. Or you can check out the website at beerwithgeeks@beerwithgeeks.com. And you can find the show notes for this and all of our episodes. You can find the links to subscribe or follow us in whatever podcast app you use. If you're using Stitcher's going away in August, so you might want to find a new podcast app. And if you do, you can find Beer with Geeks in whatever app you choose, wherever you decide to land. And you can rate and review us in whatever app you choose, and you can support the show at patreon.com/thoughtbubbleaudio.
Very nice. Very nice. Frank, it's always a pleasure to talk to you about Be and Flow and just to talk to you in general. And so we'll do it again. And so until next time, cheers.
Cheers.